All right, I'm gonna harvest the sweet potatoes today. We did get a couple of frost already. Actually, let me show you quickly something curious about frosts. We didn't get full out frost where all the plants died. We got what I call spotted frost. Like, let's take a look at these squash plants. You can see the greenery. It still looks pretty nice. There's still a big squash right in the middle. But towards this end, we can see frost damage. Here's one example. This is frost damage. So these leaves, a bit on that one, a bit there. If we walk around this plant, this center part doesn't look like has been touched, but towards the end there's more damage there. Maybe a little bit here too, look. That's frost damage. So now there's going to be a week of weather that is a little bit frost-free, let's say. But two things. One, I have the time now, so that's why I'm going to harvest them. Second, I don't really think one more week of semi-decent weather is going to do much for the crop. And also, the one I'm going to harvest now, it has been exposed to frost. I did see frost damage on the leaves. Right here, most of the damage has been done from some kind of rodents eating the leaves. But it has been touched, I would guess, this plant, the same as the other end. I have another pot like this one with the sweet potatoes. So this one, I'm gonna keep them on the side. This is gonna be the first one we eat. While I had the bigger pot, where I expect that the biggest crop is gonna be where I save the sweet potatoes for next year, because after you cure them properly, they're gonna last throughout the season. So until next March, April, when you're gonna restart your slip production for next year. So let's start with this pot. Let's look. I don't expect much. This was like extra sweet potatoes I had. I just put them down. I'm gonna start with this one. I have a couple that I put here and there. We'll see what we get, and then we're gonna go look at the main pot what we get. So let's get closer here. I should have brought a pair of secateurs, but you can see the plant. There's a bit of development on the plant. Down that way too. Now the leaves has been cleaned from whatever animal decided to come eat it. But as I say, I put it in this black plastic pot to help with the heat, to get them a bit of extra heat when the sun hit. But by now they would have been pretty much in shade all the time. But it was like a little experiment, so let's see. You can see the sweet potatoes trying to come from underneath. I don't think there's gonna be anything in here, but you can see what I did. I cut larger square underneath so they can go get their moisture. Let's see what we got. There they are. So even this, let's take a look. This is a decent size, better than what I expected. That's a nice size sweet potato. There's a bunch of them, some kind of smaller, but again, this one came from one little slip that I grow. So let's say you save one of these for the winter. Look at this one. This would be a perfect one to save for the winter. There it is. Okay, so you save these single sweet potatoes. If you are able to get it through the winter, then you're gonna use these to produce slips. These single sweet potatoes are gonna give you as many slips as you want. So from both ends, you're gonna get so many slips that even from one slip, then you get this amount. It's viable. It just makes sense to grow them in my eye. Like it's free. It's free food. obviously I want a bigger harvest like you saw last year, and what I'm hoping to get on the main crop that I took better care of. But even with this one, it still would make sense for me. Something that people say don't grow here, just a little bit of a trick like this plastic to give it a bit heat. The heat would be mostly at the beginning of the season, like I say, when this vegetation is still not around, so they get hit by the sunlight and they get some nice temperatures. But this is looking nice. Now let's go take a look at the main pot. So this is what we got from those two little pots just put down in the wood chips. As I say, look at these sweet potatoes. Look, that's nice. That's very nice. I also gonna show the failure. Not only this, I consider like success, because like I say, 2 slips, they cost nothing. Made them for free food. This was the orange ones. They really didn't develop. Let me get them in the sun. They're very little. They're still, we're gonna eat them, roast them, one meal. But it was like, again, thrown into a pot with other stuff. So anyway, this really is what I'm having like to eat first. Now, I didn't really grow many sweet potatoes this year. My main pot was this black large bucket. I would guess, I think it's marked here how many gallons. So it's 13 gallons, 13.6. If we focus, let's see if I can get it to focus. No, like usual. Anyway, 50 liters. So I have that big pot. It used to be on the ground right here. I had to pick it up because some animal was eating the leaves. I don't expect a crop like last year, mostly because it got eaten, it never get to flower, so I think it was less developed than the one I harvested last year. Now in this big pot, I think I put originally 2 slips. Let me see if I can show them to you. So you have one right here, you can see where the stem is a bit more brown. Okay, that's the focus, there you go. So you got the stem that is brown right there and another one there. So I put 2 slips and we'll see what we get. All right, so already off the bat, decent size. We got one right here, a bunch of smaller one. Let's see, this one too is a decent. Okay, so let's put them away right here. This one is kind of broken, you can see. Anyway, let's get him out and let's break even the other one, and then we'll see, we'll dig down and see what we got. Oh, that's a nice crop. Look at them, beautiful. Nice. Actually, even the bigger one here. It's kind of tough to break them apart, so sorry for the shaking, but with one hand it's very difficult. So we got this bunch. I'm gonna leave them there because I can't get them off. There's one. Beautiful. Put it right there. And then we got this bunch, and then now it's gonna be time to dig down and see. Oh, I feel one. Look at that one. That's a nice one. Beautiful. Let's dig down. See if we have any more. Let's see. I don't really feel, so what I'm gonna do now, let me clean up, get all the ones that I get on the front so we can compare the 2 production from the 2 different buckets. Okay, so end of the story. I would expect less from the buckets on the wood chips and more from this one right here. We still got some beautiful size one, and these ones I'm actually gonna try to keep them for as long as possible. Probably I'm not gonna touch them. I'm gonna put them away, try to get them to go through the winter, so to have some to start the slips, and at the end of the winter I'm gonna eat all but one, you know, maybe keep this one to produce the slips, but keep them for the longest time while here. This is gonna be what we're gonna eat first, maybe in a month or two after the proper curing time. So again, this was from one bucket, 2 slips, 2 bucket, 2 slips, smaller buckets in the wood chips. I think I will go back to the wood chips just cause I never watered that, while this one I had to keep watering because it was just on this bucket laying on the grass here and then later on the table. So between the two I would pick that as a better production. Next year I'm gonna go back onto the roof. That's where I got a big one last year, and that's I think where they really show the best potential. But again, like I'm saying, this one came all from 4 slips out of one self-produced sweet potato, kind of this size. You can see on my videos, I showed them. And one of these is gonna give you 50 slips, so more than enough for as much as you wanna produce. So this is this year's sweet potatoes, not as much as last year, but we are in Canada. Look at these sweet potatoes. No artificial heating, no artificial lighting. Just, you know, the only trick was that black bean to help with the temperature, and that's about it. So definitely worth it. Definitely worth your own sweet potatoes.